Christy, why don't you share with us? You're on mute right now, Christy.
My name's Christy Hendricks. I am from Phoenix, Arizona. Um, my favorite music artist, just because it hits close to home and reminds me of my mom, is Shirley Caesar, a gospel artist. Um, I am getting my degree in behavioral science and human services. And a fun fact or hidden talent, I'm very good with writing poems, but I put in my thing yesterday when I did my homework, a fun fact was I snort when I laugh really hard. That's about it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, awesome, Christy. I appreciate you joining us. What do you want to do within behavioral sciences or services?
One of my goals is to be a behavioral health tech so that I can help people and be a drug counselor.
Awesome. Awesome. Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll actually at the back part of this book of the class, we will touch on a couple things where we'll talk about health along the lines of addiction and drug addiction, tobacco, stuff like that. So you might be able to join in and share some thoughts on those. I share a lot of life experiences in this class, so within that field, you might be able to educate us on some things.
Oh, definitely.
Awesome, Christy. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, let's see here. Bianca.
Hi, my name is Bianca Garcia. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I have a favorite music genre, which is 90s hip hop.
Let's go.
And the degree that I'm trying to achieve, I'm still unsure, but it's in between something with forensic science or like nursing.
Okay.
And a fun fact about me would be that my favorite food is lasagna.
Lasagna. Phenomenal. My wife is half Italian, so she can cook up some Italian food like that. So I'm a big fan of lasagna too. That was actually my mom's favorite dish that she made. Yeah, so lasagna. So I'm all in on that too. Awesome, Bianca. Appreciate it. All right, let's go next. Let's go. Is it Elizabeth?
Hello. I'm Lisbeth de la Torre. Um, I'm from here from Phoenix. My favorite music artist. I usually listen to Spanish music.
Okay.
So there's this singer. His name is Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. Okay.
Yeah, that would be my favorite one. I'm currently going for nursing right now.
Okay.
And then a hidden talent. Uh, I'm a really good dancer. Um, or I really
What
like
kind of
to
dancing?
dance.
What kind of dancing?
I used to do folklorico. That's a traditional Mexican dance,
Okay.
but they're really colorful and big dresses.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay, cool. Awesome. I don't do it too much, but I used to love going to I'm country. I'm from Oklahoma. So like I used to love going country dancing. I two-step West Coast swing. So I don't do it too much anymore. But yeah, I'm a big fan of dancing too as well. Well, awesome. Well, appreciate it. Welcome. Chandra, did I say that right? Try it again. Try your, go ahead and try it again. You were on mute. Oh, your volume's not working right now. Let's see here. See if you can go into the settings and test out your microphone, possibly. Maybe. I heard something there. No. A little bit right there. I thought I heard you a little bit, but it was way, way low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit now. Still low, but I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer right now.
There you go. That's okay. That's okay. Technical problems, man. We're all dealing with it. We're all dealing with it. So did I get your name right? Is it Chandra? Chandra?
It's Chandra.
Chandra. Okay, Chandra.
Okay, so just a little information ahead of time. My daughter is in orchestra, so right now she's doing the violin. So I don't know if you may end up hearing her, but maybe not since the volume isn't so good. But my name is Chandra Bragg, and I was born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona. My favorite music, I love gospel music, and so I don't really have a favorite artist. I love many different ones, as you can see if you look at my assignment. Um, I actually just graduated with my associate in general business, but right now I'm working on my bachelor's in strategic leadership with NAU. So I'm doing the 90/30
90/30?
program. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
A fun fact, I love football and basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport though, but I love to watch football and play and watch basketball. So
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Chandra. Did I get it right that time?
yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll try to continue getting that right as we go. Appreciate you being here. And maybe we'll get a concert from your daughter with a violin here in the future. Big fan, big fan.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, let's see here. Let's go down the list. Emily, are you on the call?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
It's my camera doesn't really work, so it probably looks
Good
all
enough.
muted.
You're good. It's good enough.
Okay, so my name's Emily, and I'm born and raised here from Phoenix, Arizona. I don't really have a favorite music artist or like favorite genre. I do really like Bad Bunny though, but I don't think he's one of my favorites. He's just one that I really like, someone I really like. I am majoring in nursing.
Okay.
So I am looking into different programs to transfer after I finish this semester.
Cool.
And a fun fact about me is that I did mention that I had a lot of pets. I have 3 dogs and I have 3 cats. And one of my cats just had kittens, and that's 3 more to the family. So if anyone wants a cat, let me know.
So you've got a small farm over there.
I do.
Yeah.
It's crazy over here. A hidden talent. I don't know if I have a hidden talent. That's something that I really have to think about. I don't really know.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a boxer, and then I have a like a chow. Like she's mixed. I don't know what she's mixed with, but she's like a chow. I know she's like some percent chow. And then I have and then she had like puppies like a long time ago. So she has a chow mixed chihuahua. She's like really tiny. She looks like a wiener dog. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's
I don't know if I've seen that mix.
Yeah, it's funny because the mom is like really, really big and the dad is like a chihuahua. So it's like, what even happened there?
Is the baby, is she like small and fluffy? Is she like fluffy like a chow?
She's like, she has the face of it, but her body is like a chihuahua. And she has thin hair like her dad.
Okay.
Yeah, so she looks really weird.
It's funny. That's funny. We've got 2 dogs. I've got a half pug, half chihuahua. Her name's Roxy. She's the princess. She runs the show. Yeah, that's my wife's dog. She had her before we got together. She's a little bitty, so she's got the color of a pug, but she kind of looks like a chihuahua.
That's
We've
cute.
got a half German Shepherd and a half Lab who's 1, and she's insane. My wife almost killed her a couple times this morning. We've got a small baby. We've got a 5-week-old baby. So
Uh-huh.
the baby went down to sleep, and Sadie is the German Shepherd, and she does Olympics every morning over the
Over the baby.
couch. Yeah, over the couch, and tries to lick the baby, and my wife's about to kill her. Yeah, so
Oh my God.
yeah, it's craziness over here. So
Aw.
awesome, Emily. Thank you for sharing. Good luck on all the kittens and giving them a good home.
Thank you.
Let's go next. Couple names I'm probably not going to get right, but I'm going to eventually get them right. Let's see here. Let's go with try Zana. Are you there? Maybe
Were you
not.
trying to say Jaina?
Way off. Absolutely. I was way off. Okay.
Does it start with a Z?
Yes, it starts with a Z. All right, say your first name again because I want to get this thing right in the future.
Jaina.
Jaina. Okay.
Apologize for my video not being on. I'm currently at work in clinic, so I'm
That's okay. That's okay.
can't really turn that on.
Zaino. Okay, so what do you do
Ja.
for work?
I'm a medical assistant in an ortho clinic.
Cool. Okay. Medical
Um,
assistant. All right, give us a little bit of background.
Well, my name is Jaina Venable. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So
Okay.
moved to the desert from the tundra. Big difference for me.
Are you a
as
Green
for my
Bay
fa-
fan?
I definitely am a Green Bay fan.
Okay.
For my favorite music, I really don't have a specific favorite type. Like I love all genres of music. Honestly, it depends on how I feel. It's what I listen to.
Okay.
As for the degree I'm trying to work for, I'm trying to get my bachelor's in nursing.
Nice.
And I don't have any talent. So fun fact about me, I used to live in Japan. I lived in Japan for about 3 years.
Wow. I love that.
And I know very little Japanese. So we're gonna throw that out there right now. I do not speak it well.
What was I love that. That's awesome. What was your reason for going to Japan, and kind of what did you do there?
I used to be in the Navy. I was a corpsman in the Navy, and I worked at a hospital on a base.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it. I'd love to go over there and experience that one day. Cool. Well, maybe
It's
you can
absolutely
share
amazing.
some of those experiences as we go through this class.
I'd love to.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. And let's see if I can get your name right again. Zahina.
Jaina.
Jahina.
Mhm.
Jahina. All right, I'm gonna work on it every day in class, working on it. All right. Thank you. Awesome. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if I can get another one right here. Kaiser. It's not right.
It's Kaiser.
Kaiser. Gotcha.
Yes.
What's up, Kaiser? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Kaiser. I'm from Pakistan, and then I moved here like 2 years ago in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my favorite music artist is Post Malone, and then its song is Hollywood's Bleeding. That's my favorite song. And then so the degree I'm trying to achieve is I'm trying to be a forensic scientist.
Nice.
And then a fun fact about me, I like to collect coins, the old coins, or like different currencies. And then I'm also a good soccer player.
Soccer. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome, Kaiser. I appreciate you being here, man. Did I don't know how old you are, but are you playing soccer on the soccer team here south?
Not right now.
Okay.
I have to apply for it.
Well, if you're interested, I work in the athletic department, so I can get you connected with the coach if you're interested. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
18.
You're 18?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me know if you're interested, and I'll see if I can get you connected through email or something. Okay. They're not
Yeah,
doing
for sure.
anything right now, but in the spring
Oh.
they are. So
Yeah. That's what the email said. That's why I didn't do it right now.
yeah, gotcha. Cool. All right, man. Well, appreciate it. Welcome. And then last but not least on the call, Esmeralda, or is it Esmeralda?
Yeah, Esmeralda's fine, but you could just call me Esme.
Esme? Okay.
Yes, Esme. Uh-huh.
All right. Awesome.
So my name is Esmeralda, and but everybody calls me Esme, and I was originally born in San Diego. I actually too love all kinds of different genres of music, so it just depends on my mood. I've really been into like Fleetwood Mac though.
The TikTok got you,
Um,
didn't it? The TikTok got you.
yeah, yeah, I sure did. But it's such a classic song, you know?
It is.
So anyways,
It is.
yeah, I love a lot of good classics. Like I love CCR and like Fleetwood Mac, and so
Yeah.
it's good music. So yeah, but I actually listen to everything, so
Cool.
I don't discriminate against any music. And then I'm working towards a nutrition degree. So I'm actually working towards a certification of a IBCLC and a nutrition degree,
Awesome.
which is a lactation consultant.
Cool.
One cool fun fact is I just had a baby
Oh, congrats.
like literally like 5 days ago.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah,
just
so
recovering. Have
I
you
was
got
like,
any
I had
sleep?
put your class on my I put your class on my timer to make sure I didn't forget. So I have helpers. So and then a cool talent is, so I am a big baseball junkie and a sports like junkie, and I love playing baseball or softball. So I feel like that's a really good talent that I have, and also love to dance. So those are two talents that I have.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, I'm sure
that's
you
it.
were happy with the Padres this year and the team that they
I
had.
sure was.
Yeah, they had a
Even though they
fun.
lost against, yeah, even though they lost against LA, I was disappointed in that, but it's okay.
They're
There's
up
always
and
next year.
That's a fun group to watch. Yep. So that'll be good.
It's an old rivalry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, congrats
Yeah.
on the baby. Definitely
Thank
try to get some sleep every once in a while. My wife's doing the same. So I understand that situation. So communicate with me if you need anything. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right, guys. So what I usually do with introductions, instead of just kind of going normal with my introduction, I have you guys ask 3 questions. So ask any 3 questions that you want about me. I'll answer those questions. And then once we finish that, we'll get into the lecture. All right. So any questions that you have, I went over a couple things last week. But you guys let me know what 3 questions do you have. I'll answer those 3 questions, and then we'll get into the chapter lecture after that. So the faster you ask these questions, the faster we get into the lecture.
Okay, I'll go first. How long have you been in teaching?
So this is going on my 10th year. Yeah, so I'm 34, just turned 34. I'm originally from Oklahoma, moved out here in the fall of 2011, and I started teaching in the spring of 12.
Okay.
So, but I got my bachelor's degree in education, and then an emphasis in kinesiology, exercise science. So I've always wanted to teach. It's always something that I've wanted to do and love to do. So yeah, pretty much 10 years dating back to when I first started.
Favorite sport?
Baseball. I coach baseball. So
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I'm assistant baseball coach. Played baseball in college. and moved out here. Actually, the main reason why I moved out here was to coach baseball, and then I got into the classroom and started teaching, and then this was actually the first class I taught. So I've taught this class probably 25 times, maybe 30 times. I teach it about 5 times a year. It's my favorite class. It's a lot of good information, and it's not, just your normal boring class. We talk a lot about life, and so yeah, it's been fun teaching this class, and I try to ramp it up and make it better every semester. So it'll be a good one.
Awesome. Last question. What is a location that's you and your wife's dream destination for vacation?
You hear that, babe? What you got? Dream destination, vacation. She said Venice. So she's half Puerto Rican, half Italian.
Okay.
So she definitely wants to go to Italy and experience that a little bit more in the future. We've talked about that. For you nurses on the call, she's also a nurse.
Oh, cool.
She just finished her Master's of Nursing degree, and to be a nurse practitioner.
Congratulations.
So she's a lot smarter than I am. She's a lot prettier than I am too. I've outkicked my way far. So no, we went to Jamaica on our honeymoon. We got married a year ago, so Jamaica was cool.
Awesome.
So anyway, I love Nashville too. I'm gonna just tell you guys that I'm country. I wear boots a lot. I like country music. So
I love country music.
All right, guys. Let's thank you for those questions, Christy. We'll get to know each other more as we go, guys. I share a lot of information about my life and my experiences in this class because I think it's beneficial to this class. Also, as we go in the lectures, you guys know in the file section in Canvas, there is study guides. Okay, so those study guides are going to help you pass the test. So I recommend having those study guides around during lectures. So you can download the study guide in the Files tab on Canvas. All right. And you can either you can print it out and highlight it. However you want to do that, you can do that. But you guys complete the study guide and then use the study guide for the test. The test questions come directly from the study guide. So if you do a good job on the study guide, you'll do a good job on the test. All right. So as I'm lecturing, a lot of times I will tell you guys, hey, test question. This is a need to know. Make sure you highlight it, mark it up, star it, whatever you want to do. You'll need to know. Okay. As I'm going, you guys can follow along if you want with the PowerPoint from so you can download the PowerPoint if you want and look it up at your screen. Let me upload it to Canvas right now. So you can follow along if you want from a PowerPoint standpoint, but I recommend you guys use the study guide as we go so you guys can complete that study guide and make a good grade on the test in the future. All right. Let me see here. I don't know why that is the way it is right there. Okay, there's the PowerPoint. It is now uploaded into Canvas if you wanted to look at it as of now. Okay, so as we get into these chapters, if you guys got any questions, definitely you can use the chat. Sometimes I'll ask you guys questions and then ask everybody to put your answers in the chat. So we'll all kind of interact through the chat in a lot of ways. All right, so at any point in time, if you guys got questions, let me know. You guys can just unmute yourself and we can talk, or you can throw it into the chat. Either way. All right, so let's get into chapter 1, Invitation to Health, first chapter of the book. We're going to be talking about the 8 dimensions of health. We're going to be talking about health and wellness and give us a good foundation of health and wellness going forward. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so some characteristics of health. So as you guys look, positive, optimistic outlook. If you guys look at Our physiological piece of our body, our mind, body, soul, spirit. If we're living our life in a positive, optimistic outlook, then we're going to relieve some stress from ourselves. And then we're also going to be able to just move through maybe some heartaches that we have, some hurdles that we're trying to overcome. So a positive, optimistic outlook is a big part of health. Sense of control and able to relax. So understanding that you are in control of your life, you're able to relax when you need to relax. It's kind of that saying of being calm during the chaos, all right? In a lot of different sports and in the Navy SEALs, they talk about being calm when there's a lot of chaos. So just being in control and being able to relax when you need to relax. A lot of times you can do that by controlling your breathing. All right, so breathing, you can control your heart rate, you can control just yourself being able to think clearly. Okay, energy and vitality. So just good energy. I think with my baseball guys, I always talk about bringing the juice every day. There's a book called The Energy Bus by John Gordon. Phenomenal book. If you guys are interested in reading, John Gordon has a bunch of short reads that are really, really good, and Energy Bus is one of them. He gives kind of his top 10 rules of the bus, and the bus is all about bringing energy, thinking positively, and so energy is a big piece of that health. Okay, so supportive social network. I think we all need a social network that is supportive. Usually this is going to revolve probably around family, probably around some of your closest friends. I think those people are really important. If you study some people that live the longest, they're called the Okinawans. They're out of the Philippines. They live longer than anybody on earth. So people went in to study their tribe, and what they found out is they're really close with their family for long periods of time. Some of them live with each other for a long period of time, but they also have friends for a lifetime. A lot of them have friends from like preschool, like early younger school days. They have friends until pretty much until the end of their life. So a supportive social network is always good. Anytime we're struggling with something, we're all at some point in time trying to overcome something, and it's always good to have somebody to talk to, share our thoughts with. So those best friends, right? Those best friends, maybe that's brother, sister, maybe that's a classmate, maybe that's a teammate, maybe that's somebody you work with. A lot of times when we're looking at anxiety or social disorders or mental disorders or any of that, it's like we can go talk to a therapist. So, a therapist, I think a lot of times is our best friends. Okay, so just something where we can get something off of our chest. I think that's really important, and somebody to kind of cheer us on as we're going through some things. I think that's really important. But also on the flip side of that, we also need to be that for somebody, that supportive social network. I think a lot of times if we give that supportive social network, all right, we'll get that in return a lot of times. So I think that's very important. All right. Personally, satisfying job or endeavor, and I will highlight this. I will talk about this for the rest of my life, about doing something that you're highly, highly passionate about, because we spend about a third of our life going to a job, doing some type of a job or endeavor. And I think it's really important that we do something that we're passionate about, not just something that gives us a paycheck, because it's going to affect us stress-wise, that job is. And also it's going to, whatever you're passionate about, that's where you're going to do your best work. So no matter what we go into career-wise, there's going to be days where it's like, oh man, like you're going over some hurdles a little bit. All right. And passion is what drives you over the top to be the best that you can be and reach your full potential. But it's also satisfying for you, right? So you're getting something out of it. So I highly recommend whatever you guys plan to do in the future, do something you love to do every day, and then figure out how to get paid for that. I think that's really important, because at the end of the day, when we're living our life, we're trying to be happy. And, going to do something every single day that you're happy about is very important because it's about a third of our life. All right. And then how do you define being sound body, mind, and spirit? All right. So let's try this chat out. You guys go into the chat and you guys give me some adjectives. Just, it doesn't have to be a long sentence, but when you guys hear being sound of body, mind, and spirit, what does that mean to you? All right. There's no right answers here. Just give me what comes to your head when you hear being sound of body, mind, and spirit. What comes to mind? You guys share some of your thoughts in the chat there when we're talking about being sound of body, mind, and spirit. You guys share your thoughts on that. Yeah, so as we're sharing our thoughts, everybody go in there and put some thoughts into the chat. Everybody share something, an adjective, maybe a sentence. Chrissy says, I think being totally and completely confident, full of peace. I think that's great. I think it's a great way to look at it. That social piece of just being sound of mind, body, and spirit. A lot of times when I see that, for me, I kind of go back to that peacefulness. I think peace is a good word to use, Christy. I think that's great. Emily, sharing that, I think that's great too. Being true to yourself, being content with your life. All right. I was listening to Matthew McConaughey. He's got a new book coming out called Green Lights, where he shares a lot of his stories of his life. And he was talking about going into solitude a little bit and just kind of being content. Like a lot of times we have these distractions in our life, whether that's the internet, our phones, friends, family, other things in our life, and it gets us, we've got a lot of thoughts in our heads, might cause a lot of stress at times. And, if we can just be at peace with what's going on, you see a lot of good statistics and research studies and articles coming out on just mindfulness and meditation. Also, it can be prayer. All of those things are ways that I think that brings us back to being peaceful and being thankful and having gratitude and those types of things. So that's kind of what it comes to me. Thank you guys for sharing inner peace, the way you think and feel. Your mind is clear. You think clearly. You're able to make good decisions. Awesome, guys. Awesome throwing all of those in there. Holistically, just peace of mind. I think those are all wonderful thoughts when you guys think of being sound of body, mind, and spirit. All right, so let's talk about wellness. Okay, we just talked about health. Let's talk about the other piece of it, the wellness piece. Wellness is purposeful, enjoyable living. All right, so you're living on purpose, all right, and it's enjoyable. So what does that look like? All right. First off, that's deciding to move to optimal health. So we're talking about what's our best healthful living that we can do from a nutrition side, from a mindfulness side, from a physical side, the exercise side, from a spirit side. Also living life to reach one's potential. I think that's why it's important that we chase and do something that we love to do every single day, whatever that is for you. And because that's where you're going to get the most passion. That's where you're going to feel the most energized. All right. A lot of times when we're stressed out, we're doing things that we don't necessarily want to do, that we don't necessarily like to do. I think in order to probably reach our full potential, we have to overcome some of those hurdles. Sometimes, like you guys are you're trying to graduate, right? So you're going to have to take some classes that you necessarily don't want to take. All right. So sometimes my old baseball coach used to tell me, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do things you do want to do. All right. Sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do things you do want to do. But I definitely think it's important as we're trying to chase our life's, our potential. is doing something that we love to do. Developing awareness that health and happiness are possible now. So the thing that I like to do when we talk about happiness, right? Like that should be like fulfillment, and happiness is what we should all be trying to achieve, and creating awareness of things that make us happy. I think that's really, really important. And then try to daily put into our lives those things. Okay. So going back into the chat, you guys list some things out that you prioritize and that make you happy. What makes you guys happy? Like where do you get good energy from? All right. What are things in your life that make you happy? For me, it's my family. It's reading. I like to read. I like to work with people. So I coach baseball. I love going to the baseball field. Baseball has given me unbelievable opportunities in my life. Wouldn't be teaching this class if baseball didn't lead me to Phoenix. So I like doing baseball a lot. I like impacting others. Baseball saved me from going down a bad path. And so I like giving back and trying to impact players to help put them on a good path too as well. I like country music. I like dancing. I like good food. I like to cook. I like getting in the kitchen. All right. So those are some things that I like to do. You guys throw into the chat some things that make you happy. What are some things that make you happy? And my challenge for you guys on some of those things that make you happy is figure out how you can put those things into your life every day. All right. It might be something short. All right. It might be like going for a walk. All right. Especially we're in COVID right now, over the last 6 months, we might have been stuck inside a lot, right? Like how many of you guys like went to take a walk and you're like, hey, you know what? I need to do this a lot more. Like this was like refreshing. I got to breathe some fresh air, right? Like nature is good. All right. Me and my wife did that yesterday, right? I actually took a walk in the morning, took a walk in the afternoon. I'm like, I went to lift too. All right. I like lifting. I'm a certified personal trainer. So I know I'm my best self when I do those things because I'm in line with myself spiritually. Okay. Integrating into your life, mind, body, and spirit. And then believing that actions influence personal health and the health of the world. All right. A lot of times that's where we kind of get stuck is we have a lot of good thoughts. We have a lot of good ideas, but we need to move towards more action. All right. So creating good daily habits of action. All right. If you guys are, if you're into reading, if you like books that are a little bit motivational, there's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits by James Clear. All right. And basically he starts talking about setting up different types of habits every day and aligning yourself with achieving your big vision goal, which is what we'll talk about today at the end of class too, because our first assignment is our goal setting assignment. All right, so,
hey, can you repeat that again? You said Atomic Habits by James who?
James Clear. And I put it in the chat too, Christy. So if you go into the chat, I put it in there. Atomic Habits by James Clear. And then also you guys know, like you guys can, download the Audible books too as well. So if you don't want to like physically go buy it, you can download all of these books and listen to them as you're walking or driving, whatever that is. I do that sometimes as well. But it's a really good book. It just talks about how to create good habits and routines every single day and how those lead to, big successes in the future. So big fan of that book. All right. So good job on you guys sharing some things, some dogs, family, going hiking, walking, shopping, going to church, singing, playing the keyboard. Again, dog, boyfriend, cats, coffee. Big fan of coffee, Emily. All right. Spending time with kids, family. The daddy-daughter dates. There you go, Brandon. All right. Those are awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing those things. So my challenge for you guys is like, how can you implement those every single day and kind of have an awareness. So going back to the word awareness, have an awareness of maybe you have to do some of those things that you don't want to do things you do want to do. So putting some things in front and behind in your daily plan of maybe that thing you don't want to do, right? So you start your day off with something you want to do, then you might have to do something that you struggle with or might not be as fun. And then at the end of that, you do something that you like to do. All right. So I think that's a good way of setting up your day to keep good energy flowing throughout the day. All right, let's keep moving and look at the 8 dimensions of health. We'll put the number 8 up. Oh, sorry. All right. 8 dimensions of health here. With the 8 dimensions of health, you guys will need to know all of these. There will be questions, test questions, answers on these dimensions of wellness. All right, and we actually use these in our employee wellness at South Mountain Community College. So at South Mountain, I am the lead of all of our employee wellness on campus, and we work off of these 8 dimensions of health. All right, so we try to have different types of themes and touch on every one of these areas. So as you guys go through, you look at psychological, physical, spiritual or emotional, intellectual, social, environmental, either occupational or financial, and then community. And these are the 8 areas that we'll touch on next in these next slides. All right, so as we're looking at physical health, all right, that first one is our physical health. Physical health, very, very important. All right, a lot of times, you know, if you look at statistics right now, there's stress is at a really high rate. Anxiety is at a really high rate. I think suicide rates are the highest that they've ever been. And I think it's really important that we continue moving. And what I'd like to use is, it's kind of a Joe Rogan quote. And Rogan talks about if we sit around too much, then we have these demons in our head that we keep playing around. So we got to get out of our head and get into our body. And what he talks about is getting into our body is exercising, right? So he's a big MMA, jiu-jitsu type of guy. He works out a lot. So I can tell you guys, like, I'm in a better mood physically, emotionally, mentally when I'm exercising. And then also it's just being able to eat correct, right? So that first bullet there is feeding the body nutritious foods. And we'll go into some nutritious foods in chapters 5, 6, 7 and talk about nutrition, put together a meal plan, look at healthy grocery list, and we'll budget. But putting good food into your body that's kind of grown from the ground, right? That's not processed. So a lot of the fast foods, they have a lot of processed foods. And I'll tell you a quick story. I'll probably share this throughout the class a little bit more though, too, as well as when we're talking about processed foods and we're talking about fast foods, we're in this society where we're moving really fast, right? So we don't plan what we're going to eat, and what happens, we end up choosing, hey, let's go to this fast food restaurant. And a lot of these fast food restaurants, they freeze their food for a long time. So they need different chemicals in those types of foods so it doesn't spoil, right? So the story I'll give you on McDonald's, has anybody seen Super Size Me, by the way? Anybody seen that old show, Super Size Me? The guy that ate McDonald's 30 days in a row. Anybody seen that? Show of hands, anybody? Nobody? Yeah. All right, so Bianca, you seen it? Okay. All right, it's an older one. It's about 10 years old, all right? But this is the story I've got on McDonald's. So I went in, when I was in Oklahoma, I went into a store that was associated with Herbalife. And Herbalife is kind of a nutrition type of supplements. They make shakes, they make thermogenic teas. So I was going in there to get a protein shake. Okay, so I walk into this store. It's like a little bitty side store. So I walk in to get this shake, and I turn to the right, and on the right they have a shelf on the wall of this store. Okay, and on the shelf is an open double cheeseburger from McDonald's. Okay, and so I go get my shake, and then I'm like, hey, what is that double cheeseburger doing? And she said, well, we actually put that double cheeseburger up there the first day we opened the store, and just to show everybody what's in these types of processed foods. And she said, so we opened our store a year ago, and that double cheeseburger has been open for a year and it hasn't molded yet. So you guys think about that, okay? So a double cheeseburger, it was open, it was sitting on a shelf for a year and it never molded. All right, so that's the types of chemicals and things that they put in these different types of fast foods, so these foods can last longer, and so they don't lose money on food. So when we ingest some of those types of foods, those processed foods, all right, our body doesn't really know how to react to those. They don't know, like, hey, they're basically saying, hey, what are you putting into your body? And a lot of times it doesn't register to our brain right, and it doesn't like give us the energy we need. So a lot of times what I tell my baseball guys is like, we need to eat to perform. Okay, we're not just eating because our brain tells us we're hungry. We need to eat to perform. So from an athletic standpoint, we need to eat so we can work hard. We can think clearly. So those things are important. So when we're talking about physical health, that nutrition piece is very important, because it gives us the energy, it helps us grow and be in the right alignment that we need to be in. Exercising regularly, we'll get into exercise as we go too. Again, that gets us out of our head and gets us into our body. That's very important. And I'll just say this shortly from the exercise standpoint. A lot of America is going towards like, what is a quick fix? What is a pill that's going to help me feel better? And if you guys study different types of foods and what exercise does to your body and your brain, a lot of these pills that big pharmaceutical companies are making to make us feel different from a chemical standpoint, those chemicals are the same thing that exercise gives you, the same thing that healthy foods gives you. All right, so definitely put it that priority list, guys, moving around every day and then eating healthy foods. And then going into a couple others, avoiding harmful behaviors, watching out for early signs of sickness. So going to get your yearly checkup, very important. Prostate checkups, mammograms, going to the dentist. These early pre-warning exams help us catch a lot of different things. And then protecting ourselves from accidents. Okay, so there's physical health. All right, psychological health, so our brain. All right, so how are we working mentally? We will do in chapter 2, we'll do a gratitude list. That'll be part of our Growth U template. All right, and that's just psychological, positive mental thinking. I call that PMA, positive mental thinking. But psychological health, awareness and acceptance of a wide range of feelings in oneself and others. Just understanding that we're all humans, we all have emotions, we all deal with some things. But if we can be aware of some of those emotions, and what I call those is our red lights and our green lights. So if you guys have awareness of how you're feeling that day, if you're maybe you're being angry and you kind of catch yourself being angry, or maybe you're being short, maybe you are being snappy at somebody. Those are some of the red lights that I have. And so like I try to create a good awareness of my red lights, and then I try to create a system to change those red lights to green lights. All right. And so what I mean by that is like if I'm feeling down, if I'm not bringing good energy, if I'm being snappy, if I'm being short, some of those types of things, then I kind of use my my method of just having a good perspective, and then I go to my gratitude list of like, man, I just start going through like, man, I'm thankful. I got a house over my head, I got food in my body, got a good family, I got a job, so I just start listing things that I'm thankful for, and trying to get me back into my right mind, I would say. But also, if another method that I use is that if I'm feeling kind of that red light, I'll also like try to do something that lifts somebody else up. So I talked about good social networks, right? So being a good social network for somebody. I was listening to Tony Robbins the other day, and he was talking about we are in our best alignment when we're growing, when we're doing good things and we're growing, because overall, I think what happens when we grow, when we're either learning or good things are happening, then we can contribute to the world. And when we can contribute and give, we're in a good frame of mind and we feel good about ourselves. So being able to give back, so that might be, just making a phone call or whatever it is. Christy, yeah, go ahead.
What was his name? Tony Roberts?
Yeah, Tony Robbins.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he's been a motivational speaker for a long time. So you can YouTube a bunch of his stuff. There'll be a couple videos that I show in the class of Tony, but he's got good podcast. The video I was watching the other day, or the podcast I was listening to on my walk the other day, was Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Tim Ferriss. He's got a big podcast, and he interviews some of the most successful people on the planet. And he was interviewing Tony Robbins. This was a past podcast, like in 2016. And Tony Robbins actually brought up a something that he thought was the best way to live. And he was talking about beautiful states and suffering states. So we have these two states that we live in. Either we're living in a beautiful state or we're living in a suffering state. And what he said was the beautiful state is everything that you guys do that brings you good energy, that you're passionate about, that makes you smile, those types of things. And a suffering state is anything that takes you away from those beautiful states. And so the goal that we're always trying to achieve is trying to find those beautiful states and being aware of those suffering states and being able to change those suffering states to beautiful states. And so we're all in both of those at some point in time. Like we're all going through something, but just using different types of methods to get us back to those beautiful states in our right frame of mind is always good. Let's keep on moving. So let's go to the next piece here is spiritual health. Okay. Spiritual health. So looking at spiritual health, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, and this is kind of one that just says identifying one's own basic purpose in life. So a lot of times when people say spiritual health, they automatically say it has to be religion. It doesn't have to be a religion. I think a lot of times it's part of it for sure. But it doesn't have to be associated with religion. It could just be part of what we talked about earlier, like you just finding peace, you finding fulfillment in something in life, you reaching your full potential, and then devoting yourself to meeting others' needs more than one's own. So like giving back, whatever that is for you, right? Helping somebody else. I think that's part of our spiritual health is contributing to somebody else's life. Giving back in some way, somehow, enjoying nature. It might be from a religious standpoint where you're praying, you are spending some time in thought. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's going out hiking for a while, maybe it's going camping. Just kind of the parts of our body where we need to release some of that emotional baggage that we're carrying, all right, and just be able to breathe a little bit, right? So there's 10 ways to increase your spiritual health that I put up here. This is just from a doctor that has a wellness institute. It's called Life of Peace Wellness Institute. These are just some areas that you guys could possibly introduce if you guys wanted to. So if you're feeling that kind of anxiety or stress, you're being overwhelmed, whatever that is, I think it's good just to, as he's saying in some of these things, just sit quiet in meditation daily, just be able to think through some things. From a meditation standpoint is learning to breathe. All right. If you look at the breath, It's so important to our life. And if we just figure out there's different ways to breathe, and a lot of times we become mouth breathers, guys. And when we're just breathing through our mouth, it puts us in a stressful state. So an example I can give you, if you guys watch like boxing or UFC, or even somebody that, from a cardio standpoint, when they reach a high stress level, they start mouth breathing. So if you listen to like a boxing match, they'll say, oh, so-and-so, they're really starting to breathe heavily out of their mouth. And that's what happens when we're in a stressful state. And sometimes, even just right now, we have conditioned ourselves to mouth breathe a lot of times instead of breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. So something that I do with my guys, and it's a method that I use to relieve some of their pressure situations in sports. So when you reach that pressure situation, heart rate increases, your breath usually quickens, all right? And then that's going to slow down your thought processes and decrease your vision, all right, when that heart starts to, kind of the fight or flight mode, right? So to be able to calm that down and get your heart rate down, use the breath through your nose. So breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. If you guys just do that right now 5 times and go in through your nose and out through your mouth for like 5 seconds, you guys will see the state of your body change. You guys will feel a more relaxation. So I do that with my guys, actually. My guys love it. My baseball guys love it. So at the end of our strength and conditioning, workouts, we'll usually just spend some time meditating. And sometimes I just use it from a visualization standpoint, because there's a lot of studies shown that if we visualize being successful, such as like playing baseball, all right, you'll be better. So what we'll do is just lay down on the ground and focus on our breathing. And I try to get them to count to 10. So that's our method. So we'll breathe in for 5 seconds through our nose, breathe out through our mouth for 5 seconds, and that counts as 1. And you try to get to 10, all right? So I challenge you guys to do that. You guys try to do that. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and try to count to 20, all right? I promise it's really tough to do when you get to about 8, 9, 10, because your mind starts wandering. So the piece that I'm talking about from a spiritual health is just mindfulness, is controlling your thoughts. Understand when your thoughts wander, try to bring them back and focus on your breath. And then your breath and oxygen, okay? We need oxygen to live, all right? Can change your body from a physiological standpoint, all right? So just understanding how to breathe better is going to be beneficial to you, okay? Let's keep moving. All right, Friends. If anybody likes the old show Friends, my wife loves Friends, all right? So that's our social health, okay? So looking at it from a social health standpoint, interacting effectively with others in the social environment, all right, to develop satisfying interpersonal relationships, to fulfill social roles. So again, this is kind of that social network that we're looking for. And also being aware of people that give you good energy, right? So like, I love having people around me that are funny, that are always like kind of upbeat, in a good mood. I try to actually recruit players from a team concept that have that type of personality, because they're very they're very contagious throughout a baseball season. There's ups and downs of a season, just like there's ups and downs that you guys are going through in life. We all have kind of peaks and valleys at time. And if we have these funny people that are around us that make us feel good, that kind of pump us up, that bring good energy, that's going to help us get through some of those valleys that we might be going through. So that's why I always look at it from a social health standpoint. And then also just taking a look at who you're surrounding yourself with. I do believe we're all contagious. We'll talk a little bit about this more in chapter 4, but and chapter 8, but we're all contagious from the standpoint of, I believe we're the average of the 5 people we hang around the most. Okay, so we're the average of the 5 people we hang around the most. And meaning we usually, those 5 people, We usually either dress like they do, talk like they do, watch the same movies, eat the same food. There's usually a lot of same commonalities that we share with those 5 people. So understand who's in your small circle, and are they bringing you positive energy? Or are they bringing you negative energy? And just being aware of those two. All right. So like growing up, I'll give you an example of some of the friends that I had growing up. Like I had a lot of friends as I was trying to get a baseball scholarship and go to college. In high school, I had a lot of friends that partied, that did a lot of drugs, that were going down the wrong path. And I was basically trying to get down the path of going to the weight room more, going to hit more, going to take more ground balls. It's really focused on baseball. And what I started seeing myself do, this was kind of, it was kind of an unconscious thought. I didn't necessarily say, hey, I need to eliminate or separate myself from these people. But I started moving and gravitating to people that worked harder, that went to the weight room, that did more of the things that were going to help me get to my goal. So all I'm saying is, like, you guys evaluate who's in your social circle, and are they bringing you good, healthy vibes? Are they helping you get to your goals and where you want to go? If not, you might have to make some hard decisions and, either spend less time with those people and spend more time with people that are going to help you get to where you want to go. All right. And that might be a communication thing too, if it's somebody that's really, really close with you. All right. So the story I got from that is when I was in college, my buddy's dad told me, when you go to college, you hang around the 5 most hardest working people on the baseball team. So if you do that, then you're going to get some of their habits. So I always remember that. I had that phone conversation with my buddy's dad. That made a lot of sense to me, and I've seen it happen more and more and more without us even realizing it. There's a lot of studies done on this too, but without us realizing it, we do a lot of the same things our friends do. Where they go to eat, hey, do you want to go to McDonald's? You want to go to Chipotle? You want to go to Chick-fil-A? What movies you want to watch? Do you want to go party? A lot of these things unconsciously, we don't realize that we're going, we spend a lot of time in these areas that might not get you closer to your goals. And we'll talk about that a little bit here in a second on goals. A little bit more on social health. So intellectual health, just talking about just reading, the ability to think and learn from life's experiences. I think we should all, the best teacher is experience, guys. The best teacher is experience. All right. So get in. So whatever you're going into, whatever careers you're going into, go do some job shadowing, understand some life experiences, and then be able to think through some of those things and learn from those experiences. Also, I think it's important to be open to new ideas and not just shut down ideas that might not necessarily you believe in at the moment. Maybe you believe in something else. I think it's very important as you're continuing to learn and grow is understand to listen and hear of different ideas from everybody. You might not completely adopt that idea, but it might change your thinking a little bit that impacts your life positively. So be open. Open-mindedness, I think, is really important. The example I'll give you is I think I'm a pretty good baseball coach. I've got a lot of philosophies that I really believe in, but I also look at other coaches, and I also seek out other coaches that do it a little bit different than I'm doing, and say, hey, you know what? Is this should I do this different? Is what I'm doing the correct way, the best way? Think about it from that standpoint. Capacity to question and evaluate information. I think that's important, guys, especially today. That bullet point might be the best thing that's happening right now in society with social media, is the capacity to question what we're reading and what we're seeing and then evaluate that information. All right. So especially right now in society, like we can Photoshop, we can crop, we can change anything to make it look at however we want to make it look. All right. So when we're reading these things and we're watching these things, we need to question, is this the truth? Is this what is really going on? Or are there some underlying factors that I don't know about? And maybe I need to do a little bit more research to myself, for myself, to find truth. And I always talk about that. It's like, what's the actual truth? Can I actually find some truth? And I try to find multiple areas, whatever concept I'm looking at, try to find multiple areas that are kind of check that box on, okay, this is the actual truth. And I also try not to get too emotional when I'm either watching something or reading something that might spark some emotion to start with. And I'm like, that don't seem right. Let me do some research though first before I get too emotional. I think that's really important in today's world, because Photoshop, you know, if you take it from the standpoint of, you know, anybody that you look at on Instagram, you know, you can filter every one of those pictures, right? And, you know, so you can change whatever you want to change. So again, try to be realistic, try to ask good questions, try to research some different things so you can find truth. And so the capacity to ask good questions is important to that. And then application of critical thinking skills to safeguard our well-being. I think that's the big piece of that, is just working through some things, critical thinking. What are some pros and cons? Kind of that's the method I use a lot. Pros and cons of what's going on. Is there more pros than cons? Then we'll do it. If there's more cons than pros, then we won't do it. All right. So using that as a deciding factor on some things. All right, environmental health and occupational health. We'll go through these pretty quickly since we got 5 minutes left. Environmental health, a lot of this is just taking care of the things that you can take care of that don't negatively affect the world, which negatively affects everybody. That might be putting negative types of air, pollution in the air. For the one that works the most for us is like don't litter and recycle. All right, that's a big environmental health standpoint for us. If we're recycling, I think that's going to be one way that we can take action on our environmental health. And then occupational and financial health. Number one, I think we need to do something we love that we're passionate about. Number two, once we do that for long enough, then we are going to be able to make a living doing that because we're passionate about it. And then having whatever that work balance life is for you. That might be 50-50, you know, and a lot of other people that might be 70-30. You know, you might go into your work might be something that, you know, that's your oxygen. That's what you need to do, right? Because maybe you're impacting people, right? Maybe you're doing good things within the world, in your community, right? So whatever that piece is for you. And financial health, okay? And we'll talk about that a little bit more, but money stresses us out a lot of times. And I've got some ideas from that standpoint of living probably a less materialistic life, and some ideas where that can benefit us in the future and understand what makes us happy right now. There's actually a podcast that I just listened to from Tim Ferriss, of a guy that lives off of $28,000 a year. He's got a wife, he has a kid, and he's a millionaire, and he lives off of $28,000 a year. And he talks about how he does that from a bunch of different standpoints. So it gave me a lot of good ideas too, different ways to invest, different ways to, buying houses, what type of car that you need. You know, I think a lot of us will buy a car that makes everybody else, we want to be able to put that house on Instagram so we can get likes a lot of times. We buy that car for somebody else when really that car depreciates when you pull it off the car lot. So if we can just get a car that doesn't cost us money each month and gets us from point A to point B, it's really all you need. And you can invest that money into other areas in your life where it can grow. That money can help you out. So anyway, that's a in a nutshell. And then community health, again, just helping others within the community and being successful in that way. All right. So, and a lot of times I see that from a volunteerism. If you guys want to volunteer, again, I think that's a good spiritual way to live too as well. You guys can Google volunteering in Phoenix, and you guys can help out in those areas. Me and my wife usually try to go to the children's hospital during Christmas and wrap presents for those children that they have. It's a pretty cool experience. So I think that's important. All right, real quickly, it's 11:15. I want to tell you guys your first assignment would be the Growth U template and your gratitude or your telescope goals. So I want to answer these questions and make sure you guys know because this is going to be due Sunday. All right, so in your files section in Canvas, you have your Growth U template. All right, you need to download this. Okay, it's in Excel. It's in an Excel form. If you need to change it to Google Spreadsheets, you can do that as well. All right, but what I need out of this, okay, I need your big vision goal. That's what we call telescope goal, because telescope sees way down the line. Top 5 goals that you have in your life right now. Big vision, long term, big vision. All right, that might be 6 months, might be a year, might be 5 years. All right, what are your top 5 goals? All right, and then make them SMART goals. All right, that means basically make them specific. So I shared some examples here. So put 5 goals here, okay? That's going to be 10 points that you're getting from this assignment. This assignment's 30 points. Here's 10 of the points, these 5. You get 2 points for each big vision goal. All right, then you're going to take your number 1 goal, you're going to move it over here. All right, and you're going to put 10 goals, daily goals that you're going to do every single day that's going to help you reach your big vision goal. All right, so 10 things that are going to help you reach your big vision goal. And we call those microscope. So microscope sees zoom, sees the small things, and the small things are our micro habits, which are our daily habits. You're going to put all 20 in here. So you're going to delete all this stuff that I have, and you're going to put your own in there. Okay? Any questions on this? All right, if you guys got questions, shoot me an email after class. This is going to be due on Sunday. 5 big vision goals, 20 daily goals to reach your top number 1 goal. All right, so use your Growth U template. That is where? In your files tab. Okay. All right, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys got questions, I'll hang out afterwards. But if you guys don't have questions, you guys are good to go for the day. Have a great day. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too. Have a good day.
To Brandon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
See y'all later.
See ya.